Hey, what is up, everybody? It is Tor3 here, and today I am going to be doing simple rogue training for the spec of Subterfuge. Now, Subterfuge is a very well, it's a burst spec, and as a burst spec, it can do a lot of damage in everything. Oh, I'm not even spec Subterfuge right now. My fault. Anyway, it can burst. Its burst is tremendous. So my first spec is Subterfuge. Subterfuge is probably one of the best things that you're gonna be running because of its more powerful openers. You'll be able to do an opener harder, and it will be most likely a very pressure opener. Now, for my for my next two, for my 30 and 45 talents, I chose combat readiness and elusiveness because with them put together with the evasion, that is about a 90% damage reduction to melee targets, but to anything else it's about an 80%. And you could just spam feint, because elusiveness gives you 30% damage reduction with the feint ability, which the feint ability, I don't think I even have, the feint ability, let me get to it. Oh, there it was. The feint ability, it performs an evasive maneuver, reducing damage taken from area of effect attacks by 50% and all damage taken by 30%. So it's overall great. Okay, for the next thing, Cloak and Dagger. I chose Cloak and Dagger because with Subterfuge, it's easier to move around and it's easier to get behind your target. Anyway, okay, for my next talent, it's optional between Prey on the Weak, Paraplegic Poison, one of those two. I'm going Prey on the Weak right now for for damage basically, because Prey on the Weak is 10% increased damage from all sources for the duration of the effect, which is cheap shot, kidney shot, gouge, sap, or blind. And that's great and all, but Paraplegic Poison is just as good with its stun, which is amazing, and its Shiva ability is pretty good. But Prey on the Weak with Sanguinarian Vein, Prey on the Weak is about 10, Sanguinarian Vein is about 30. No, it's a 20. So you're gonna be getting plus 30 just from that. Plus 30, just plus 30 attack. Like when you hit something, you'll hit it harder because of that. If you have, but the trick to that is it increases your ruptures damage, and with those two up, it increases your damage output in general. So for our next talent, it is going to be Marked for Death. Marked for Death because it's more a damage output than I find say Shuriken Toss is. And truthfully, I don't even know what the hell Anticipation is. Okay, so because my opener, I'll show you my opener. I go Premeditation into a Slice and Dice. Get my energy up, and sometimes I'll sap. I'll gouge, ambush, cheap shot, and then I'll get them with a full 5 combo point eviscerate, Marked for Death, damage trinket eviscerate, and then if I want, I'll get like 3 combo points blind, and then I'll just get a re-stealth and use those combo points instead of premeditation. Now rogues, Subterfuge rogues, as I said before, they're a lot of burst damage. They're not mainly like well, they're a lot of pressure, but they're not. You're not gonna be seeing a rogue hitting like 70 Ks every hit. They're not like that. Like I don't know what class would do that, but still, they're more of a burst class than anything. And with rogues bursts, I have 2 one-shot macros, which I will share with you in this video. Okay, for the first one, you know, you're gonna want to burst. You're gonna want to hurt them for a little bit. Just like do an opener, but without like mark for death or your trinket. And then just like hurt them a little bit, and I blind them right there. If they just pop like their defensives, blind them, and then you'll get a re-stealth and use those combo points that you had into a slice and dice, and that will make your first one-shot macro a lot easier. So you're gonna start spamming your one-shot macro, and you're gonna watch the numbers fly in. And then you'll have about 5 combo points at the end of that for whatever you want. If you want a full rupture, a full eviscerate, a full kidney shot. Okay, so that was the first one, but the second one-shot macro requires Nightstalker. So you're gonna want to like take Nightstalker if you want to use this one. This one's more RNG dependent, meaning it's more. If you don't hit this first eviscerate hard, if you don't hit that first eviscerate harder, then like really hard, then you might not be guaranteed to get the kill. So I don't recommend using. I don't really recommend using these in arenas unless you know that you're gonna get this kill. But I really don't recommend this one if you don't have a lot of gear. So I'm gonna go to the Horde training, the Orgrimmar training dummies, because those training dummies are just crowded with asses. So here we go. I'll just go to these ones because they're more convenient. Bam, so we're gonna land up here. Okay, so for this next one-shot macro, you're not, like, you're just gonna open, you're not actually going to do it right away. Because remember, you want to make them pop their cooldown. So you're gonna open with like a cheap, do a couple damage moves, like a nice Eviscerate or something, and then they'll pop their defensives. Blah blah blah. You'll blind them. Make sure you have at least 1 combo point on the target when you blind them. You're gonna want to get that re-stealth. Do slice and dice, not premeditation, because premeditation is in the one-shot macro. And you'll start spamming the one-shot macro. And then you're just gonna want to watch these the numbers fly in, but you'll end in Shadow Dance, so you can spam ambush or whatever you want to do in there. And then like you'll have a couple combo points left over, and you'll be able to keep damaging. Okay, so next it is my glyphs, and for my glyphs I am running Glyph of Blind. Glyph of Blind because I want a clean blind, and with that glyph, you'll be sure to get a re-stealth. And that's really good. And you don't, with the Glyph of Blind, it's basically dirty tricks. Your Gouge and Blind no longer have an energy cost and no longer break from damage. The only difference between dirty tricks and this glyph is that it just takes away the dots. And so my next glyph is Glyph of Cheap Shot. And what Glyph of Cheap Shot does, it increases the duration of your cheap shot by 1 second. So they're definitely going to be stun locked for a longer time. So watch this, watch this. Okay. So I'm going to open, oh shit. I'm sorry here. So here, let me respec my talent back into Subterfuge. Alright. Okay. So like here, watch like so. So you're just gonna like you're gonna open, and this guy's going to be more stun locked than ever because that cheap shot lasts so much longer, and then you could get in a nice kidney shot, and then you can do more damage. That's basically, it's a great peel and it's a great stun lock. And which leads me to my next glyph, which I have. It's the Glyph of Garrote. Glyph of Garrote increases the duration of your Garrote ability by your Garrote abilities because it is a bleed and a silence effect. Garrote ability, no, it's only the silence effect, I'm sorry there. The Garrote ability silence effect for a 1 second, which is just like the Glyph of Cheap Shot, and it's just as good with healers. So that 1 second, they won't be able to heal during, like, when you get that ambush in. They will not be able to heal themselves for that ambush before you can get that cheap shot off. There's just no way. Which, and if you, like, have to shadow dance, you could focus Garrote the healer, and then go back, on the low trading dummy. Anyway, for these, minor glyphs, you could take really whatever you want, but I am taking, wait a second.
It is too far away. I cannot do that yet.
I am taking the glyph of, blurred speed, which is, I'll show you that in a sec. The glyph of safe fall, because I just like, being able to fall anywhere. Now, me being a panda and a rogue, I won't be taking as much falling damage because I'm a rogue, for one, and for two, because pandas have reduced falling damage. So this just adds to the nice little cake. And Glyph of Disguise, and if you haven't seen my Glyph of Disguise video, it's called the best rogue glyph, because you could just, you can gank lower levels. And this is the Glyph of Blurred Speed. When you sprint, you can run over water, and you could just walk on water. And watch, if the sprint has faded, then see this is deep. Just okay. So those are my glyphs. Now, I have like the Glyph of Detection. That I only had this to get the Survivor's Bag of Coins, which I will make a video on in the very near future. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave the 2 one-shot macros in the description below, and as always, Tor3 here. Thanks for watching.